Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York. Global Issues News Headlines. July 18, 9:55 America, New York, seizing the moment for a more resilient Asia and the Pacific. Bangkok, Thailand, July 18, IPS. The world faces a disaster emergency, yet nowhere is the threat more immediate than in Asia and the Pacific. Ours is a region where climate change-induced disasters are becoming more frequent and intense.
New York Times World News.
July 18, 8:12 America, New York. Moscow warns Ukraine against shipping grain across the Black Sea without its consent. The Kremlin's comments came after Ukraine's leader called for the shipments to continue despite Russia's withdrawal from a landmark grain deal. Copyright Daniel Barahulik for the New York Times. A cargo vessel being filled with grain in the Black Sea port of Pivdeny, Ukraine, last August.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 18, 8:10 America, New York. More on bank earnings. Below is a roundup of results so far, and highlights of what to watch in the days ahead. Check back throughout the week for updates.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
July 18, 8:03 America, New York. Court ruling for web designer may not protect others opposing same-sex weddings. The Supreme Court's recent ruling in favor of a Christian web designer who opposed making same-sex wedding websites didn't settle everything for religious objectors, according to legal experts who say bakers, florists and others may still have to battle in court to stay out of LGBTQ celebrations.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 18, 8:03 America, New York. Despite Ukraine war, UK set to shrink its army. Britain will slim down its army and seek to create a better equipped force that it says can be more quickly mobilized.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 18, 8:02 America, New York. The U.S. wants a Women's World Cup three-peat. The world has different ideas. The U.S. hopes to extend its dynasty in the 2023 tournament that begins this week. But its young, injury-riddled squad faces tougher competition from European powers.
Wall Street Journal World News. July 18, 8 o'clock America, New York. Iranian oil is stuck off coast of Texas, but U.S. firms won't touch it. Companies that manage unloading tankers say they are too worried about Iranian reprisal to handle the captured oil on the Suez Rajan. RT World News. July 18, 7:59 America, New York. Captured Russian tanks being taken to UK, Telegraph. The chief of the British Defence Staff said the Russian hardware is being studied with the goal of defeating it in future conflicts. RT World News.
July 18, 7:57 America, New York. France's Denial Day. Everyone understands why the country was engulfed in protests, but the authorities hush up the problem. After days of extremely violent riots, France enjoyed a relatively peaceful Bastille Day. It could be the last calm before the storm.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
July 18, 7:56 America, New York. Iowa evangelical Bob Vander Plotz. Voters ready to move on from Trump. A top evangelical leader in Iowa thinks voters are ready to turn the page from former President Donald Trump.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 18, 7:56 America, New York. West can't afford to drop the ball on Ukraine, UK Foreign Secretary says. The diplomat said Russia's withdrawal from a deal to allow Ukrainian grain exports shows why Moscow must be defeated in the war, and cautioned that otherwise, the world will face even greater economic disruption that will fall disproportionately on the poorest.
PowerPost.
July 18, 7:55 America, New York. What's next in the quest to prevent RSV? Federal regulators approved a shot against RSV, which is the leading cause of hospitalization among young children. Wall Street Journal World News. July 18, 7:55 America, New York. Morgan Stanley profit falls 13%. The bank's results were dragged down by investment banking and trading.
The Independent.
July 18, 7:53 America, New York. Germans should emulate Southern Europeans' siesta during heatwaves, public health group says. Germans should emulate the Southern European tradition of the siesta as a way to support workers during the country's frequent hot spells, according to the head of an association representing public health officers. Copyright 2023 The Associated Press.
Wall Street Journal World News.
July 18, 7:48 America New York, U.S. nuclear-capable, boomer, sub visits South Korea for first time in decades. The visit of the USS Kentucky coincided with the inaugural meeting of a new nuclear consultative group between the U.S. and South Korea.